mamacita, really wanna meet ya. When I slide through ya, really wanna keep ya. Drown you in Chanel, think about you all the time. Louis V, Gucci on, you looking fine. Pull up in a Rover, think about you all the time. Got my back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of These Guys Don't Know Shit About Sports. Nice to have you again here on another beautiful week. We're actually recording this during the day on a Sunday. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot. I didn't realize that if you get your COVID vaccine, you shouldn't drink that night because then you get a hangover and COVID shot symptoms. So, yeah, I feel like I got hit by a freight train. Anyways, Jacob, how are you feeling today?
I'm fine.
Good? Cool.
Based on last night, I didn't think this podcast would last, but
Yeah, it was
that's water under the bridge right now.
yeah, it was a interesting night.
A very interesting night.
Fuck Conor McGregor. I'm tired of wasting money on Conor McGregor. Every time he fights now, I want McGregor to fight Diaz, and then I think it's time to retire from McGregor. But anyways, we'll get into that anyways. But
unfortunately, Shaq isn't able to be with us this week. He unfortunately has to work. Who would think that you had to work at work? But that's
NBA
just my
players.
opinion.
Anyways, well, let's get straight into the UFC 264 results. We've got Sugar Shane. We got Sugar
thing.
Sean O'Malley and Chris Latino.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, Matino.
And of course, I don't know how this fight went the distance. I really don't.
don't know.
The entire time I was sitting here waiting for Sean just to destroy him and end it. But
Yeah.
it seemed like he had the fight won a couple times, but he obviously won the decision. I mean, this was all 100% O'Malley the entire time.
No,
No.
it was TKO. That was the fight that the ref called the fight. He called the fight in the 30 seconds left. You remember that? It was the first fight of the night. Sean was beating the shit out of him, and he had a jaw of steel. You remember that?
Yeah, you're right. Was it a first round?
No, it was a third round.
So it wasn't decision,
There was
but it was
27 seconds
yeah.
left, and this dude has been taking hits the entire
it was a
night.
questionable.
And
stoppage.
Herb Dean decided, oh fuck it, I'll just call the fight now.
Yeah, I remember that now. That's a questionable stoppage. Obviously,
It was a horrible stoppage. I think
Yeah.
it should have went to decision. I mean, Sean still would have won.
It doesn't
but
matter, but when you
let him
get,
finish
when you
the
get your
fight.
ass whipped for 25 minutes, you might as well take
Yeah.
the last 30 seconds and make it a decision.
Exactly.
Let him go
That's
the
that's my
distance.
thing. That was my whole thing. I don't understand why it was stopped.
I have no idea. It was definitely a questionable stoppage.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
with
get
like
it.
with any sport, you're gonna have some questionable calls by the referee. Just how it works.
Yeah. I mean, good fight for Sugar Sean. I mean, it can be good and bad. I mean, if you want to look at it bad, the fact that he landed over 200 headshots and couldn't knock him out.
He had like 80%.
Yeah, he was
It
80% too. At one point, he was 60 for 69.
That man does not miss. He was hitting him left and right.
Yeah, he just couldn't fall. He just couldn't knock him. That was the biggest thing.
He really used that reach too. He liked that
Uh-huh.
jab early, especially. He kind of worked out. He found the distance and the range and used his reach from the beginning. You know, he keeps throwing those right jabs. Those right jabs are hurting him.
Yeah,
That dude was taking a hell of a beating though. Respect to that guy. 'Cause
absolutely.
He's got a jaw.
It
of iron.
looked like if you're playing like UFC 4.
Yeah.
And you max out your guy and just destroy your opponent. That's what it looks like after one hit. Except he took 300.
Dude,
It was ridiculous.
I don't know how he didn't get knocked the fuck out. Like clean knocked the fuck out.
I don't know.
Like he was taking
Either
a lot of shots
it's one of
today.
two things. Either Chris has a fucking jaw of steel, or two, Sean O'Malley is a bitch when it comes to hitting.
No,
And I don't
no,
think that's the case.
No, he about killed some guy last fight. He full on with Mortal Kombat fatality on him. He struck him with the hand of God in his last fight. So, no, I think it's this Chris guy.
His
take a
jaw is just outrageous.
I don't know. Let's get into the second fight. Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunisaka.
Kunisaka, I believe so.
Kunisaka?
This was a good fight as well. We didn't watch most of it, but it ended in the first round, about 30 seconds in.
Yeah, this was the quick fight.
Yeah, this was a very quick fight. It was. You just had to watch it. It was just complete dominance for her.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a typical Amanda Nunes fight, except Amanda Nunes wasn't in the octagon tonight. Now,
Yeah.
that's who I want to see fight next.
I mean,
I don't think there's a single woman on planet Earth that can beat Amanda Nunes. I think she's champion in both those divisions as long as until she retires.
Yeah.
I think she could hold some of the titles in the men's division, to be honest with you. She's that good.
I don't know. I mean, she's very good. Don't get me wrong.
She's the greatest women's.
Yeah.
She's the greatest women's fighter of all time.
Mhm. I agree with that.
Might be one of the greatest fighters of all time, in terms of her
I agree with
accolades. I'm just saying, I think she would definitely compete well against the men. I just think she could. She's just so good. She's good on the ground. She's good on the feet. She'll knock you out or she'll tap you out. Which way do you want it done? But you ain't going decision with Amanda Nunes. All right.
Sense.
Getting into the next one.
The heavyweights, the big men.
This one was also a first-round knockout.
This was surprising.
Ty knocked out Gray Hardy in the first round. We had a minute and 7 to go in the first round.
Do you remember this? Like, do you remember watching this one?
Not at all.
We were sitting there making fun of Ty's mutton chops the entire time because he was tattooed all across his stomach.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now. Muffin tops.
And we did not think that he would
Monster.
we didn't think he was going to be able to take Greg Hardy. But
We,
he did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
I think he got a lucky hit on him.
Yeah, he definitely got a little bit of a lucky hit. But, I mean, that's how it is sometimes with these fights.
Yeah.
So whoever gets that first punch and opens up, if you open up some kind of part in his face, he starts bleeding. You get blood in his eyes. That's how UFC is. It's kind of like chess. These fights are because these guys are at such a high level of combat sports to where, they have to. They analyze each fight. They think 3 or 4 punches ahead.
Right.
They're machines. But anyways, getting into our co-main event in the welterweight division.
Fight.
Welterweight division. Yeah.
Horrible fight.
This was a very boring fight that they didn't really do much. Gilbert Burns won by decision. I'm not really sure if he's excited about beating Stephen Thompson. Don't know if he's excited about beating Stephen Thompson in this kind of fashion, but it was definitely that sleeper fight of the night.
I mean, every other fight ended in KO or TKO. So I mean, we were due for a slow fight.
Yeah, I just felt like there's several moments at this fight that they could actually have.
Yeah, I agree.
They could have went at
I
it.
agree.
I feel like they're being very.
And Gilbert initiated most of it. He didn't want to stand him up. He didn't want to just sit there and. He didn't want to outbox the guy. He wanted to out-wrestle him. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, and if you're up in a fight and he has to finish it in the third the third round.
I mean, it's a smart thing to do. You're playing for points at that
goes
point.
Back to that analyzing the fight, thinking ahead.
Yeah.
If you've got the decision when you don't take that chance and you don't risk getting knocked the fuck out.
One thing that we forgot to mention, going back to the Tay guy that won the match previous, I can't pronounce his last name to save my life, but
Tuivasa?
Tuivasa? Is that how you pronounce it?
I have no idea. Some of these last names, like they're Brazilian and shit.
Yeah, it's weird. All respect in the world to this guy. As soon as he won the fight, this dude grabbed a shoe and did a shoey.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And then proceeded to grab 3 more out of from fans and do 3 more shoeys.
See, I don't understand that. I'm not much of I can put down some alcohol, but I'm not gonna be drinking out of a shoe anytime soon. Especially some random guy's shoe. Oh, that's nasty.
No, seriously, why?
Yeah.
Just why?
You gotta find new ways to express your inner alcoholic. I think they have butt chugging now. Chugging's not enough anymore.
The fuck is butt chugging?
You've never heard of butt chugging? They actually do that shit, like frat parties and shit.
What is it?
Okay, so what happens is you stick a hose up your ass, and you have a keg or a funnel, and you funnel into your as far as we'll go on that one, but
what the
apparently
hell?
it gets you way drunker. I'm not gonna find out anytime soon, but apparently it's get you super drunk. I'm never going to try it because that sounds horrible. I couldn't imagine cold beer going. Oh no, we're gonna stop there before we go too in depth.
Going on to the main event, we got Dustin Poyer versus Conor McGregor. This hurt. This hurt to see.
I was in Twin Peaks. I got there at 7.
Yeah.
I sat there, and the one fight I cared about, I waited, just like last time, forever, all night to see this fight. McGregor let me down again. And here's the thing, man. I love Conor McGregor. I love the way you were talking shit. I appreciate his cockiness and his I guess, confidence is what I'd call it. But if this dude, speaking of which, it's funny because he told him he guaranteed Poyer would be leaving out on a stretcher, and Conor was leaving out on a stretcher last night. But you know, it just hurts because after you got your ass whooped, you broke your ankle trying to throw a step back punch, or like I don't know what the hell he did. Snapped his ankle half. He's still on the ground getting interviewed by Joe Rogan, saying that Poyer's wife is in his DMs, and I'm like,
Cocky bastard.
dude, you just got your ass whooped. You need to focus more on
this.
training and less on your fucking promos. This ain't WWE.
I'm going to say this now, though. I do think that him breaking his ankle was the best thing that could have happened to him in this fight.
Yeah, because he wasn't winning that fight.
Not at all.
He was
not. After
he was
that
getting
first round.
abused.
He got abused the entire round.
I hate to say it, but I think, you know, I don't know if there's much left for McGregor to do now. I don't.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And I don't want this Poyer fight again. I probably won't waste the money on a Poyer fight again. Because I always tell people every time I see Conor McGregor fight, you know, you got to pay for it. You know, he always says break out the red panties. That's the match. You know, you've got to watch that fight. It's a different caliber of, you know, event when you've got someone like Conor McGregor, the biggest draw in probably UFC history.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been rather disappointing.
So do you think it's the Diaz trilogy and then he's gone?
Personally, that's what I'd like to see. I think he could beat Diaz. I think he could leave on a W if he did that. Because Diaz isn't what he used to be either. But I don't think he can keep up with these and Dustin Poyer is not much younger than him, actually. I mean, he just took so much time. When when these guys are competing, they're training every day. And when you take that long of a break, when you only fight, 3 times in 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just get back in the octagon and expect it to be the same person. And something tells me, and I told myself, I said, McGregor's looking at this fight differently. He's talking shit. But now I just feel like he's working too much on his promo. Because obviously he didn't train.
I don't know, though. Conor did come out swinging in that fight. He acted like he was pissed. He looked like the old Conor for a second. It was just when it went to the ground, he couldn't stop it.
And he tried to take him to the ground. Why, as someone who is a devastating striker like Conor McGregor, you've got that left jab that is insane. He's got knockout power with a jab. Why are you taking Poyer to the ground? Why aren't you trying to fight
a wrestler?
Yeah, why would you take a wrestler to the ground? What's the point in that? You know, you're Conor motherfucking McGregor. Don't make me think I'm watching a Khabib fight. You just bitched about Khabib for the exact same thing. Speaking of which, he is under 500 now in his last 7 fights. So, I don't know, guys. Very disappointing night. That was the one fight that, unfortunately, that fight being bad ruins the whole card for me. Because that's the one fight I was excited for, and that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth when
It
you
didn't ruin it for me only because, one, I didn't drop $100 on drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Skyler.
Don't remind me.
2, it was a great night of fights.
See,
Every fight was good. Now, fight of the night, I think goes to Sugar Sean and Chris.
That was the first fight of the night. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say once again he gets performance of the night.
Yeah.
Second fight in a row.
I think it has to be.
I think
and I think
Sugar
it has to be
Sean,
because
I
of
think
both
Sugar
of them.
Sean is the next Conor McGregor. I think the way he is trajecting, he's getting better every
Platform-wise,
fight.
yes.
He's got a really good, confidence. He's got, really good mouth on him. He can talk shit, and people love him.
Yeah.
Just because he does crazy crap, crazy shit.
There was a fight in the prelims that we were watching.
Dude did a backflip.
Dude did a backflip and almost lost the fight.
Yeah, he did a backflip.
He did a backflip in the first round.
Him. He did a backflip and he literally started hugging him. He laying on him like this. Like, not choking. He's literally hugging him across his shoulders.
He did a backflip onto this dude in the first round. Onto him after knocking him down. And then decided, oh, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and just make this last until round 3. And I'm going to win by decision instead. Like, what?
And apparently, some news I'm saying here, Dana White's not too happy with Conor right now.
What the fuck did he do?
Well, you got your ass whooped, and then the only thing you can do after the fight is, your wife's in my DMs, Poyer. And he's showing classless. I usually love that shit, but he's got your ass whooped.
And I don't think Dustin Poyer won this fight.
What, this one?
Yeah, because it didn't go as long as it could have. I don't think if an injury happens and it wasn't because of the other player or the other fighter, then I don't think that fight should count, in my opinion.
Well, unfortunately, in the
does.
real world, when you do
in
something
the real world,
stupid,
yeah, I know.
And the thing about it is he wasn't winning the fight.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't, and that's just my opinion.
If McGregor was doming him, and this guy's already got a broken left orbital bone, and then he breaks his ankle, maybe. But all I seen from Conor McGregor was you finished the first round, but then you also try to out-wrestle Dustin Poyer when you're literally a boxer.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think Conor McGregor I don't know what the fuck he did. I don't know what he's doing anymore. He's not the same Conor we know, unfortunately. And I don't know if he's ever going to be.
Look, we were right. Go back to that. Chris Montino gets $75,000 for fight of the night.
Yeah, he got his ass whooped. He deserves something.
Yeah.
For sure deserves something. Let's get into. So we're definitely agreeing now with this loss that McGregor's next fight needs to be Diaz if he has another fight.
Easily.
If he has another
If
fight.
he has another one. I mean, it's gonna take him 9 months to recover from a broken ankle leg.
I don't know. I don't think
because it's a high ankle.
I think we won't see him fight for about a year. He doesn't need to try to fight Poyer again. It's not for him. He's not on that level anymore. He's going to get embarrassed if he tries to fight Poyer again. And that's a guy that's been talking a lot of shit about McGregor. I predicted, McGregor's going to knock him out in the first round. Well, McGregor's not what we used to be, unfortunately. So we're probably going to get Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poyer. That's probably the next fight.
It's got to be.
And I don't want Conor, because if Conor tries to fight Poyer again, and unfortunately Dana's like, it's Conor, so I got to give him whatever he wants. It almost feels like he's holding him down.
Yeah.
That man earned a title fight tonight. You didn't. Let him have his title fight. Don't challenge him. He won the trilogy. What are you going to do? Fight him again and then be 2-2?
Right.
I don't know. Let's get into the NBA now. Let's start talking some Phoenix
stuff.
Suns.
We've got Game 3 tonight. The Suns are up 2-0 as of right now. We are planning to go live for Game 3 on Twitch.
We are. The game starts right now. We're recording a podcast.
The game starts at 9 o'clock.
I thought you said it was 3 o'clock. You literally told me yesterday it was 3 o'clock.
No, it starts at 9.
Oh, well, we might be going live because it might be Call of Duty tonight, Bubs. But we'll see.
He's putting Call of Duty above the podcast, just so you guys know. Anyways, if you guys don't know what our Twitch handle is, it's These Guys Don't Know Sports.
Because Twitch is on some bullshit. They're acting like, Adolf Hitler himself, and they won't allow you to have the word shit in your username. But it's all right. If you're this Make Me, whatever the hell her last name is, you can go ahead and advertise your OnlyFans by stripping completely naked on your stream. It's all right.
We're not going to
Twitch.
bash anybody else. We love people here, Skylar.
Oh, we're not going to bash anybody.
Well, I'd like this to make some money.
Yeah, it's all right. What are you going to do? Copyright it? We're not going to make money off this. We're going to get like 50 viewers, dude. This man's got his head in the clouds. He needs to bring him down a little bit. Let's get into the Suns game. Getting into DeAndre Ayton. There's a stat here that says he's the first big man since Tim Duncan in 1999 to have 15 points and 15 boards in a finals game. It's an incredible stat.
Absolutely.
That's crazy, though. That's kind of hard to
ridiculous.
believe, though. The first big man since 99 to have 15 and 15.
Think about the big men that have played since 99.
Tim Duncan's played since 99 several times in the finals.
And he
At least
hasn't
once.
done that. I mean, 15 boards in one game is hard.
Anthony Davis didn't do it last year at all.
Nope.
That's insane. That's a crazy stat. You would think that would be something you'd get more of from a big man in the finals. That's the big time. Or Shaq never went 15 and 15 and 01 or something like that. It's incredible. I guess Kobe really did carry Shaq. Anyway,
I don't think he carried Shaq, but yeah, DeAndre Ayton is just a different specimen this postseason. And I honestly think the playoffs are where young players become all-stars, and he did it.
Yeah, he's the most improved, I think, player in the league right now. He didn't win that, but I think he's probably the most improved player in the league.
Because of the playoffs, yes, I agree.
And remember last year, if you're a Pacers fan, you were watching Darren Collison expose him. Like, literally, he exposed him. Not last year, but the year before last when we had fans back. In 2 years, he has grown a lot. He's become a much different player, a much more consistent player, and he learned how to use his size, I feel like, is another thing.
Yeah.
He understands that he's a big big man. So his job is to be big. Something that some teams like the Pacers might have a center that has an issue believing that, I'm 6'11". So he's the opposite of Turner. He's actually using his size. Now, if we can just get Miles Turner to do this, it'll be a good story. But
Good luck.
I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll trade Sabonis, though.
I've got to talk about Chris Paul here for a second. He looked scared in the first quarter of Game 1. That same game, he finished with 32 points.
I mean, he's an all-time talent now. He's at the point to where he's an all-time talent.
Easily.
He's one of the greatest of all time at the point guard position. No one's going to give him respect like that because they want to be a bunch of haters.
No, I sure the fuck will.
They don't know shit about sports. They want to talk about, he doesn't have the flashy moves that some of these other point guards have, like Steph Curry or Damian Lillard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Steph Curry or Damian Lillard whatsoever. But I'm just saying that Chris Paul is at the point to where he needs to be on that level with Steph Curry and Damian Lillard. He's that good. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the flash or the flair. He focuses his attention on winning a damn game. So,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Chris Paul makes every team better no matter where he's at.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he's in OKC,
we're gonna have
Houston,
people in the comment
Clippers.
sections. He never made the finals.
So what?
He would have in Houston.
He would have in Houston.
100% would have made it in Houston.
I don't think they're winning the title, but
No, for sure not. But he made the finals.
let's talk about a young player, Devin
Baby
Booker.
Kobe.
Baby Kobe. Channels his inner Mamba by saying Kobe would want him to finish the job. Also getting Be Legendary tattooed on him in remembrance of what Kobe wrote on a pair of Kobe 9 PEs, giving them to Book in 2016. I mean, this is just perfect. I mean, rest in peace, Kobe. For real, rest in pease, Kobe.
What people don't realize is these young players that are like Devin Booker's age, they grew up watching. They didn't grow up watching Jordan. They grew up watching Kobe. They grew up watching LeBron. They're young.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is like probably one of his favorite players of all time, I'd imagine. I think he's probably
Easily
his favorite player. And, it's really cool to see Kobe continuing to be, relevant in in the NBA even after he passed away so tragically.
Yeah.
So, he could still be an inspiration to some of these young players.
So I have a question for you before we get on to the Bucks. As of right now, who is your Finals MVP? It's fucking hard, isn't it? You got DeAndre Ayton.
I'm going to say something.
You got Chris Paul.
I think we have
You got
to...
Devin Booker. I think it's got to go to CP3. But then again, how do you not give it to Booker?
I think it's going to Devin Booker regardless, just because he's their young franchise centerpiece, and he's played out of his mind as well. He's also been the one that's consistently got them to where they are today. Chris Paul's been great, but the primary scorer in Phoenix is Devin Booker. And he's proved it several times, even when Chris Paul was out.
Yeah.
Devin Booker takes over and drops, 40? A couple 40-point games?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. The finals, it's tough because Chris Paul played really well, but we've still got a lot of series to go. It's kind of hard to tell now.
We have 2 games left.
Yeah, but those are 2 games with 2 big box scores. If Chris Paul pops off, it's Chris Paul. If Devin Booker pops off,
yeah, very true.
If 8 even pops off, it could be 8 if you finish these last
I want a 30-20 game tonight, DeAndre.
30-20.
I want a 30-point.
40-30.
Oh, fuck you.
That's insane.
You just got to one-up me, huh?
No, I'm just saying that'd be probably the best game in NBA history. 40-30. I think that would probably
I
be
think Wilt Chamberlain did it once.
40-30?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'll fact check it.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, absolutely. Going on to the Bucks. I don't know what to say about this.
Giannis should have left.
I agree with that. I think Giannis should have left.
I mean, Chris Middleton, are you ever... I mean, you've been consistent this offseason, and I've always been talking on this podcast about how it's scary if Giannis has help, but y'all just fell apart. It's not even close. You guys are getting ran out of the gym right now. And Giannis is doing his job. He had 40 points in 3 quarters in game 2.
Easily.
3 quarters, he had 40 points in.
He had 20 in the third.
Where did Brook Lopez go? He was balling out, and now he just disappears when Giannis is back. Drew Holiday.
Is Giannis just one of those players where your team plays significantly worse with you on the floor?
I'm starting to believe on something. I've got a crazy theory about Giannis. Don't get me twisted. Giannis is a great player. He's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer one day. But I think Giannis is a detriment to his team right now. Because I feel like a player of that caliber, what does he do besides take it to the rim? Get free throws. Is he going to knock down any open jump shot and space the floor? And that's the issue with the Bucks right now is they're one-dimensional. If you're going to have someone like Giannis, who is just a player that gets the floor, literally just gets back to the three-point line and drives into you, you've got to have shooters. You've got to have the ability to space the floor. And right now they're not spacing anything. All Phoenix is doing is locking up that paint.
Right.
And if Giannis has 40, that's fine, but no one else is hitting anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost hard to watch. If I was a Milwaukee fan, I would be very frustrated right now.
I wouldn't even be watching the finals.
Unfortunately, Milwaukee's going to let their fan base to get down. Did you see the interview with Giannis where they were asking him if he's excited to be the first time playing in the finals?
And he said, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surely a joke, but I just think that's hilarious.
That's fucking hilarious.
I don't know.
It's so funny.
Suns in 4. I don't think Milwaukee's getting a game. Suns in 4.
I still think the Bucks are going to get 1.
I don't know.
I hope not. I want the Suns to sweep.
That's the
just
thing.
because if you guys have been listening to this podcast, I've said the Suns since the start of the playoffs.
A lot of people, imagine if you would have made a pick for the Suns to win the finals right
at the
after
very
the
beginning
bubble.
of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said, the Suns right now in the bubble. I think they can pop off and win. I wonder how much that would have hit for.
Probably a fuck ton.
You would be filthy stinking rich at that point. Put $100 on it, you're probably a millionaire.
Yeah, probably.
More than likely. Yeah, but we never do that because we're never that lucky.
We're not crazy?
No, I make bets that I think are rather easy to hit and still somehow never hit them.
Right. Thank you, Joel Embiid, for costing me $1,600.
Oh, it's all right. Drew Holiday just magically wants to start shooting contested threes instead of passing the ball.
Yeah,
and I
no
bet
shit.
on him. Anyways, the moral of the story is I'm done betting for the NBA. Football's a lot easier to bet on. A lot easier to bet on.
Speaking of football, we actually have some football news for you guys today.
That's pretty good. That's how you do a segue.
Right?
The Saints
We're
go
learning.
marching.
Anyways, Kansas City star
We
Frank.
should have did the. Hang on, ready? Hang on. What? We'll edit this out. Ready?
No, I don't think we should.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do the glee.
Oh, okay.
That
Anyways,
was
sorry for that. That was
incredibly
weird.
awkward.
Kansas City star Frank Clark was arrested with a felony charge with possession of an assault weapon.
I don't get it. You make millions of dollars. You play football. You don't need an assault weapon. I am so tired of these NFL players and NBA players, and they get excused. If this is any other person, he's probably going to be arrested or he's going to be facing some time. But because you're an NFL player for the Kansas City Chiefs, there's nothing going with this. He's just going to get a slap on the wrist, and that's why they continue to do these things.
Yeah.
I'm a Colts fan, but unfortunately Marvin Harrison killed a guy. So that's a fact. The guy deserved it. But he did kill a guy. Ray Lewis killed a guy.
Anyways,
You're not
two
touching on the
Clemson
10
quarterback signees could go in the first round of today's MLB draft.
He wanted nothing to do with that, did you?
Not even the slightest.
Those are both facts. Now, am I saying that Ray Lewis and Marvin Harrison belong in jail? No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that these NFL caliber players need to be held to the same standard as the average Joe walking around right now, and they aren't. Anyways, we'll get into Clemson now. Shaq isn't here, so we can talk about this shitty-ass college football team. Fake Death Valley. But anyways, getting into, it's actually crazy because you were just talking about,
They have two quarterbacks that they just signed could go in the first round of today's MLB draft. Bubba Chandler and Will Taylor. It's going to be... It's very intriguing. I mean, we sat here and we looked at their stats and everything, and they're not bad.
Hitting a 450, that's pretty good.
Will Taylor hitting a 450 with 7 homers.
33 RBIs, 34 runs scored. He was the Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year for South Carolina. So
He also sold 21 bases, and on-base percentage was almost 60%.
Yeah,
I mean...
I would say go to the MLB because you're not playing over the quarterback that they have right now.
Yeah.
They've got a Hawaiian, and Hawaiians, they just hit differently at the quarterback position.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That dude had 400 yards in his first ever game for Clemson. That's insane. He might be just as good as Trevor Lawrence. We don't know yet. I think the best player we get, I think the best quarterback in the nation is coming from Alabama, though. As much as that pains me to say, Bryce Young is going to play differently.
Yeah, Bryce Young is just an absolute force.
If you guys don't know who Bryce Young is, look him up. He's probably the best. He's probably the best quarterback prospect Alabama's had in their entire company, team's history. He's that level of player.
Yeah. Going on to the Seahawks, Bobby Wagner on Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson's offseason drama. He says it's water under the bridge now.
Well, it's a business.
Yeah.
If you're Bobby Wagner, you don't want Russell to leave.
Mm-mm.
So if Russell is getting over this offseason drama and he tries to say that he never wanted to leave Seattle, even though that's a damn lie, he definitely wanted to leave Seattle, you just let it go. I mean, he's your best chance to have a deep run in the playoffs. I mean, he's that caliber quarterback, so he's gonna stop it. There's no reason to dwell on it.
Mm-hmm.
He is full of shit though, because he wanted to leave Seattle. I don't blame him because he's running for his life in Seattle. He has no offensive line, and he still takes them to the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
He's a Deshaun Watson. He reminds me, Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson remind me so much of each other. They're both just quarterbacks that are just running away, running for their lives, but somehow they just make magic happen. So I don't blame him for wanting to leave Seattle, but
I don't either.
Seattle. I don't know. Do we think Baker Mayfield can benefit from a patient approach when it comes to his contract?
A little bit, yes and no. It just depends on how they do this season.
See, I don't know. I think Cleveland is overhyped right now.
You think they're overhyped?
They're overhyped. Cleveland hasn't done anything since Facebook's been invented, so now that they are actually a decent team, everyone wants them to be amazing. And don't get me wrong, Browns fans deserve every bit of this. But something about that offensive line being ranked above the Colts just set wrong in my opinion. So, not a Browns fan right now at all. I don't know. I think they need to get rid of Odell, personally.
Of Odell?
Mm-hmm.
Why, you think he's just getting too old? Or
He's getting injured.
Yeah.
A lot. And he likes...
Go ahead, say it.
There was a model that came out and said that Odell Beckham Jr. enjoys being shat on his chest. Yeah, that's weird. But,
Link in the description.
We're not linking that in the description, Bubs. You can Google that if you want. It's a weird thing to catch you Googling those. So if you have your other half, make sure you don't leave that on your phone, because if she sees you looked up, some girl wants to shit on Odell's chest, she's probably going to think differently. That marriage might take a little longer than you expected.
On to a new segment.
Oh, Shaq's not here.
Whenever Shaq is not here, we are going to have a new segment on the podcast. It's called Inside the Square Circle. Skylar and I are huge wrestling fans, and we're going to talk about some AEW and some SmackDown.
Wrestling. That's a weird-ass pronunciation of SmackDown. Anyways.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, bud.
Malachi Black made his AEW debut, Tommy End.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be pretty good for the company. I'm just hoping they put him over. I think he's going to be a great addition to that roster. He's young.
They're 100% going to put him over. I mean, come on. It's like Andrade, who had his first match the same night. I mean, a huge name in WWE that WWE refused to do anything with.
And for all of you WWE simps out there saying, oh, AEW only signs ex-WWE talent, once you do some research, because WWE has signed 11 former Impact Wrestling superstars this year as well. So, believe it or not, I know you're a casual wrestling fan who watches nothing but WWE, so that is their debut in your mind, but that's not our fault. You don't watch wrestling elsewhere. Every wrestling company steals talent. That's how it works. Hell, WWE stole talent from WCW back in the Monday Night Wars, left and right. Where do you think Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Crispin Wall, they all came from WCW. I read it in Jim Ross's book, Under the Black Hat. Speaking of which, if you haven't read that book, definitely read it. It's a great read.
Not sponsored, so we're telling the truth.
Yeah, not sponsored at all. I just love the book. Definitely suggest giving that a check out. Giving it a look. Check out what the hell. Giving it a check
Same
out.
thing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Anyways, How do you think Andrade looked?
Okay.
Think he looked okay? I thought he looked great.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was watching the Wrestling Observer. Shout out to Papa Meltzer, Dave Meltzer, the goat of wrestling analysis. But I think I agree with him. Some of the points he was hitting.
What did he say?
He said that Andrade, the point of that match was to make Andrade look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one person in that ring that looked amazing from that match because there's only one person who did 90% of the offense in that match, and that's Matt Sydal. If you're debuting someone like Andrade El Idolo, it's not going to be a close match. I mean, he's got to do some crazy things, and he's got to be put over. But unfortunately, I know with AEW, it's all about sharing the ring, and they're, unlike some of the other wrestling companies where it's all about how much do you get, they kind of care about each other because, wrestling's a two-way street. It's a dance partner. But I think that Matt Sydal did a lot too. He carried that match himself. Now, Andrade had some really good moves. He had that, that moonsault. Land on his feet and then go into a standing moonsault. That was really good.
That was really fucking cool.
But that's just one of those things to where, I guess we were just expecting too much. When I hear the names Matt Sydal and Andrade, I expect magic, but it wasn't all that, to be honest with you. And
it was a great match.
I'm going to be different here, though, because I actually do enjoy watching Andrade. I do enjoy his ring gear. I think wrestling in the suit pants and having that black mask, I think that's a pretty cool combination. It's unique. And you guys are like, oh, how does he wrestle in that? I'm pretty sure it's fitted. And designed for wrestling.
100%
he's
fitted.
He's a millionaire. He's going to invest in some high-quality clothing. Let's get into AEW Awl Ticket Sales. No surprise, they sold out in less than an hour.
Under an hour sold out.
So if you want to go to Awl in Chicago, you better expect to pay $190 for nosebleeds. How much you're going to be going for?
No, we were going to try and get tickets. I didn't even know they were being sold yet.
Yeah, they had a pre-sale, too, and they sold the pre-sale. Dave Meltzer said that the pre-sale was almost like a PlayStation 5.
Jesus
So
Christ.
the minute they launched the website and they opened up the ticket sale, the pre-sale, they had sold out instantly.
Jesus.
I'm not surprised, though, because the one thing about AEW is people are just, for some reason, they want to treat them like the B promotion, but they have better ticket sales than WWE. And that's a fact. They were the number one. They had the number one ticket sale rate in professional wrestling before the pandemic, and they're doing better than WWE right now in ticket sales as well, in a lot of major areas. So you can call them the B promotion all you want, but they fill their arenas. They didn't do very well for the Miami Dynamite show, but this coming Wednesday, Fyter Fest Night 1 is completely sold out.
Is it really? That's sick. I'm excited for that.
We've got to talk about something, though, because I'm a wrestling fan, and I am biased towards AEW because I love AEW. Probably say professional wrestling for me, but I got to be honest with you. SmackDown is amazing right now. SmackDown is really good. Raw is in the shitter, and it's terrible. I wouldn't waste my time on Raw, but SmackDown is amazing. It's been a really, really, really interesting. They have some really... And it makes me wonder, how do you write so well for SmackDown and have such shit writing for Raw?
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand it.
I don't think they should have 3 hours.
I think it's the third hour for sure.
And they just don't have. I mean, we have a doll.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss won by Voodoo at a pay-per-view for Raw. Voodoo. I think they hired Vince Russo, didn't tell us. But I don't know. Pat McAfee's amazing. I love Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee makes SmackDown.
I'm doing a podcast because of Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Great
So,
dude.
Pat, if you're listening to this, Ty Schmitty or Boston O'Connor, go ahead and give us a shout-out. It would be greatly appreciated, bud.
Yeah, for the brand. We've been repping the brand.
For the brands.
Repping the brand for a
Come
minute.
on.
You see the jersey, right?
Come on. You see the
jersey, right?
You see the jersey.
The goat of kicking, by the way, guys.
Easily.
Probably the best punter probably ever. I don't think anyone's going to beat Pat McAfee out for his punting ability. His onside kicks, just his overall, his overall package. He's just the best kicker probably in NFL history.
I think so.
I miss him. I miss that strut.
Come back.
Flair strut.
Yeah, right.
Swinging his hands after he lays out a Broncos linebacker.
All right, anyways, that's enough
Not
talking about the
linebacker.
B promotion. Let's talk about the A promotion again. Is it time for cowboy shit?
That's an interesting question. I don't want them to put this match up early. I want this match to happen at like Double or Nothing because I think that we're ready for cowboy shit. I think the biggest thing about some of these wrestling promotions is you know, they're wanting to do long-term storytelling. So I have a bad feeling that if this match happens at like Fyter Fest or before All Out, they're gonna make him lose again just to add some more drama to this. But I mean, I think the fans are at the point. This man's so over.
He's so fucking over.
So over.
But look, if they have him lose one more time, what does he become? The most sympathetic fucking baby face on the face of the planet.
He already is. Everyone already is sympathetic. Do you remember the 9-month storyline of him being an alcoholic and not having any friends? The quotes on the name tag that said things like drunk this many beers or something, like crazy ass quotes. Hangman has been booked to perfection. And this is probably the best storyline in wrestling today.
Easily, because it's still building, and it's been building since 2019.
I don't know if it's I think it's too early for Kenny to drop the title, personally, but that's why I'm hoping they wait till All Out to do this match. Because I think Omega needs some more time.
Until All Out or Double or Nothing?
All Out.
Okay.
In September. I think if they give Omega 3 more months to title, they'll be all right. And I think this is one of those matches that you can build it for 3 months. You don't have to put them in the ring together instantly.
That's 3 episodes.
Pull out
or
my horse
not 3 episodes, my bad.
over and over again. I want every bit of that. I want you to milk it out. You know, don't even give us a match. Just milk this every week. You know, keep having Hangman interrupt Omega. Have Omega be a bastardly heel and run away every time. I mean, milk this. This is the greatest story you've written in your company's history. Probably one of the greatest storylines in wrestling history, to be honest.
Milk the sweet tit.
Yeah, you know.
Fuck you. Anyway, no, I say that because this, you're right, this is the best storyline that we've ever seen. I've ever seen.
I'm invested because it's been there since.
I've been invested for 2 years.
Here's why I think All Out's the place to have Hangman win that title. All right. The first All Out ever in 2019. Hangman loses to Chris Jericho first ever AEW championship.
Mm-hmm.
All Out 2021.
2020.
2020. 2021 still to come.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman at that point, I believe he loses. That's when he lost to Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And then Omega went on to win the title from Moxley.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a tough question, man. That is a tough question. I think it's time because of how over he is, but I just don't know.
It's tough, isn't it?
It's very tough, and this is one of these because it's a company that you never know nowadays. You can't predict what's going to happen with this event.
Yeah, I agree. But anyways,
actually, just a correction here. I want to make sure. Actually, no. This was not the event when Kenny lost to Omega. I meant Kenny lost to Omega. Hangman lost to Omega. That was at Full Gear. This is the pay-per-view event he lost the tag team titles with Omega.
Is it?
So we're talking about he lost the title match. Chris Jericho to be the first ever champion. Then he lost the tag team titles to Omega the following year at All Out. So this could be the full circle to where he comes to All Out and he actually wins the AEW title. So that's it. It's a very interesting storyline.
But anyways, we are setting full sail into this YouTube channel. We really wanted a more creative way to communicate with you guys and stuff like that. That way we can get feedback from you guys. With that being said, we are going to be uploading other content, so not just the podcast. We are going to try and knock out some reaction videos. We're going to try and basically do anything that you guys are wanting us to do. If you guys are wanting us to do gaming videos, anything like that,
if you guys have any suggestions for things you want to see, comment. Especially with these reactions. If you want to see us react to something specific, just let us know. I mean, we'll do whatever.
Not whatever. Whoa.
But it's going to be interesting. We're trying to broaden our channel. We're trying to
yeah, absolutely.
For you guys, and just the way to get feedback from you guys. We don't know shit about sports, so we need you to inform us.
Yeah, we need you to inform us what the sports are.
Yeah. What's a sport? Anyways.
Don't forget to check us out and let us know what you think. Send us a like and subscribe. If you didn't know, we have a TikTok now. We mentioned this in our video yesterday. Our first video on YouTube that you could finally see our beautiful faces. But
Disappointing.
we do have a TikTok now. Our username is TGDKSAS.
An acronym. They won't let us use shit because they're also on that Nazi stuff right now.
If you don't want to look that up, just look out for our picture. I know you've seen it, and if you haven't, here it is. Deuces.
Peace out, guys. Love it, boys.
Chanel, think about you all the time. Louis V, Gucci on you, looking fine. Pull up in a Rover, think about you all the time. Got my bag up and I'm looking for a vibe.